The boss loves V8s. Bruce Springsteen's pure perfection car collection. Bruce Springsteen once drove a single sea green Ford convertible 2,800 miles across America in one brutal cross-country shot, all the way from New Jersey to Los Angeles. That same trip ended on a dark Texas night with a mental breakdown that would reshape his whole career forever. The boss loves V8s because every ride in his pure perfection collection holds a memory like that one, and 7 more stories are waiting. Or Bruce Springsteen writes about a 1969 Chevy with a 396 big block and a Hurst shifter on the floor in the opening line of his 1978 song, Racing in the Street. That exact ride actually sat in his garage for 6 full summers. The boss loves V8s enough to turn his own life straight into lyrics. And the real car just sold for $302,000 at a live auction. True story. Eight, 1957 Chevrolet Bel Air. Walk onto a Jersey car lot in the summer of 1975. A skinny 26-year-old with messy hair is staring at a sky blue convertible like it owes him money. That skinny kid is Bruce, and up until 3 months earlier, he had almost nothing to his name. His third album, Born to Run, had just exploded onto the radio. Royalty checks started flowing in, and the man could afford a real car for the very first time in his life. He dropped $2,000 on a clean 1957 Bel Air right off the lot. About the same price as a used Volkswagen Bug back then. Humble ride for a future billionaire, right? Now watch what he did to it. A normal guy would baby a Chevy like that forever. Polish the chrome, park it in the shade, drive it twice a summer. Bruce grabbed a spray gun instead. He coated the whole body in loud yellow, painted wild orange flames racing across the hood, and bolted a Hurst stick shifter straight onto the floor. Why wreck a clean classic on purpose? Because in 1970s Jersey, your car shouted your attitude before your mouth ever opened. Under that hood sat a 283 cubic inch V8 breathing through 2 4-barrel carbs, pumping around 270 horsepower. Same basic engine Harrison Ford raced through American Graffiti 2 years before. Bruce loved the thing so much that a photo of it ended up right on the cover of his 2016 autobiography. And he still owns it. Almost 50 years later, that yellow paint job sits parked at his ranch in Colts Neck, New Jersey. 2 years after that yellow flame job, a totally different dream rolled up, and Bruce bought it from the unlikeliest person on the planet. 7. 1960 Chevrolet Corvette C1. That old thing? Yeah, I own it. A teenager scooping vanilla cones was about to accidentally upgrade Bruce Springsteen's whole garage forever. The year was 1977. Springsteen records were flying off the shelves worldwide. One hot afternoon, Bruce pulled over at a tiny roadside ice cream stand on the Jersey Shore. Just wanted something cold. Then the kid running the window casually mentioned he owned a 1960 Corvette C1 ragtop and wanted to sell it. Bruce whipped out a checkbook at the counter, wrote a number, and rolled his new fiberglass Dream Machine off the lot. Let me lay out what the vet was packing. A 283 V8 making 240 horsepower, early fuel injection, lightweight aluminum cylinder heads, and a smooth 2-speed Power Glide automatic. Pretty advanced engineering for an American sports car in 1960. And check this stat most Corvette nerds completely sleep on. Chevy sold more Vettes in 1960 than any year before it. And that single sales jump literally saved the whole model from being shut down by GM executives who wanted the program killed. No 1960, no modern Corvette at all. The twist arrives in 2013. Bruce pulled this exact same car out of storage and shipped it to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame up in Cleveland, where he had been inducted all the way back in 1999. So for a long stretch, his Vette sat behind museum glass next to his gold records. Most rich guys lock their vintage rides inside climate-controlled vaults nobody will ever see. Bruce let regular folks walk up and stare at his for the price of a museum ticket. Bruce paid cash for that one. The next car on the list actually cost him absolutely nothing. 6. 1963 Chevrolet Impala. I'm giving you a car. That was R&B legend Gary U.S. Bonds thanking Bruce for saving his entire music career in one move. By 1981, Bonds had been sliding off the Billboard charts for more than 15 years. His glory days looked ancient. Bruce stepped in and wrote Bonds a song called This Little Girl, which dragged the singer right back into the top 20, peaking at number 11 on the Hot 100. A full-blown comeback. So how do you think the guy who pulled you out of career quicksand? Bonds skipped the flowers. He walked over, handed Bruce the keys to a 1963 Chevy Impala convertible, called them even forever, and walked away grinning. This Impala was no soft cruiser either. Sitting under the hood was the famous 409 big block V8, the exact engine the Beach Boys wrote their 1962 chart hit 409 about. In its hottest factory trim, that motor hammered out 409 horsepower on the dot, which made the 1963 SS version one of the fastest full-size cars anybody could buy off any showroom floor in America. Chevy basically built a street-legal race weapon, and Bruce got one as a free gift. Quick trivia almost nobody catches. Why did Chevy pick the word Impala in the first place? They borrowed it straight from the African antelope, because the marketing team wanted shoppers to think fast, sleek, and a little wild. Look at any old Impala fender badge. It is literally a leaping antelope frozen mid-jump. How many drivers over the decades even realized they were cruising in a car named after a savanna animal? 40 years after that free thank you gift, a completely different car sitting in the same garage smashed a world auction record. 5. 1969 Chevelle SS 396. $302,000. That was the final hammer price when one single used muscle car crossed a block in Indianapolis back in 2023. And the whole wild story started with a simple Christmas present. December of 1987. Bruce's longtime sound engineer, Toby Scott, had already worked on 18 full Springsteen albums by that point, including Born in the USA, Nebraska, Tunnel of Love, and The River. 18 records deep. A true loyal soldier. That Christmas, Bruce handed Scott the keys to a 1969 Chevelle SS 396 convertible. Le Mans blue factory paint, white soft top, big block 396 cubic inch V8. Hurst shifter right on the floor. Sound familiar to any Springsteen fan? It should, because the car matches the first line of Bruce's 1978 song, Racing in the Street, almost word for word. The backstory on how Bruce got the car in the first place is just as wild. He bought it back in 1981 and lived with it through 6 straight Jersey Shore summers. In a signed letter written in his own handwriting, Bruce described the ride this way: "I got this car in 1981 and virtually lived in it for many summers down here at the Jersey Shore." He eventually repainted the body midnight black before handing it over to Scott. May of 2023 rolled around. Scott finally decided to let the Chevelle go after holding it for 36 long years. He shipped it to Mecum Auctions in Indianapolis, where the pre-sale estimate landed between $150,000 and $200,000. What actually happened at the hammer drop? The car sold for $302,500, a fresh world record for any Chevelle SS convertible of that exact spec. One signature basically doubled the final price overnight. So which car did Bruce and his wife actually fall in love inside? The answer is parked right next door. 4. 1969 Chevrolet Camaro SS. Marianne Faithfull singing Trouble in Mind through a factory car stereo. Ocean air rushing through the cabin. A girl in the passenger seat who would eventually become his wife. Welcome inside Bruce's 1969 Camaro SS. The man spilled this whole story on Sirius XM's E Street Radio a few years back. During the early dating days with Patti Scalfia, the woman who is now his wife and E Street bandmate, the two of them would sneak out at night and cruise the Jersey Shore in his powder blue Camaro drop top. Dark, empty coastal roads, slow, soulful music. You can practically hear the song playing already. Beat that for a first date spot. You really cannot. The muscle bolted under that powder blue paint is no joke either. Tucked under the hood lives a 350 cubic inch V8 making 290 horsepower, pushing all that grunt through a 4-speed Hurst manual gearbox. Car HP currently prices the car at right around $92,800 in clean driver condition. Powder blue is one of the absolute rarest factory colors Chevy even offered on the 1969 Camaro SS. which pushes Bruce's specific car into serious collector territory. The part almost nobody ever connects? That same powder blue convertible became the centerpiece of the press imagery for Bruce's 2022 album, Only the Strong Survive. A year later, the same car got promoted as the visual star of his 2023 World Tour, his first big run since way back in 2017. Rock photographer Danny Clinch, who shot the whole campaign, called riding shotgun in the Camaro one of the coolest work moments of his entire career. Why pick a 55-year-old muscle car to front a billion-dollar tour? Because real memories move tickets way better than fresh paint. Every ride on this list so far carries a happy memory. The sea green Ford coming up? Pure darkness. 3. 1969 Ford XL Convertible. A small-town fair somewhere in rural Texas. A local band playing covers under the stars. Couples dancing slow on the grass. And Bruce Springsteen sitting in a parked Ford, quietly falling apart inside. That scene actually happened in 1982. Bruce was in the middle of recording his stripped-down acoustic album, Nebraska. He and his best friend, Matt Delia, climbed into a 1969 Ford XL Convertible and drove the thing coast to coast, from New Jersey all the way to Los Angeles. About 2,800 miles of highway in one shot. The Ford was sea green with a white soft top, the body almost as long as a full-size Cadillac. Bruce has called it his ultimate Kerouac road trip machine, a cruiser as long as a freeway and as loose as a Sunday morning. On a late summer evening deep in rural Texas, Bruce and Matt stumbled across a tiny local fair on the side of the road. A small band played on a wooden stage. Couples held each other and danced slow under the stars. Kids ran around the grass laughing without a single worry. And sitting alone in that driver's seat, watching all of that simple human joy unfold around him, something deep inside Bruce broke wide open. He has written about this exact moment in both his 2016 memoir and a long Esquire magazine feature. That single Texas night triggered the first major mental health crash of his adult life. A dark stretch he has been working through in therapy and his songs ever since. One car, one town, one evening on a dirt road. A whole identity quietly rearranged for good. Lighter ride up ahead. The only foreign car the boss has ever let through his front gate. 2. 2009 Range Rover L322. Quick question. What kind of ride does the most American rock star in music history actually drive on a normal Tuesday morning? The answer will flat out confuse you. A 2009 Range Rover L322. A British SUV. Parked in a stable stuffed with classic Chevys and Fords. One lonely outsider sitting between a crew of American legends. Sounds like a total mistake, right? Well, now comes the twist that fixes the whole puzzle. Range Rover was actually owned by Ford Motor Company from the year 2000 all the way through 2008. So when Bruce's specific truck rolled off that British assembly line, the blue oval badge was still cutting every paycheck at the factory. His so-called European SUV is basically a secret American cousin wearing a fake accent. Look under the hood. You find a 4.4-liter V8 built by Jaguar, making a solid 300 horsepower and 315 pound-feet of torque in the regular trim. Spring for the fancier supercharged 4.2-liter version, and the numbers jump to a fat 400 horsepower and 425 pound-feet of twist. So even on a boring grocery run, a serious thumping V8 is working right under the boss's right foot. That tracks for a guy who writes songs about fuel-injected Chevys tearing through midnight highways. The detail almost nobody digs up? Bruce uses this Range Rover as one of his everyday drivers, rotating it with a pair of Jeep Cherokees over at his horse ranch. Remember the huge Jeep commercial during Super Bowl 55 in February 2021? Yup, that was him filming a whole spot for the brand on camera. His own verdict on the Range Rover? He calls it a no-nonsense rig built for real life. One last card tells you exactly who Bruce Springsteen really is. 1. 1970 Ford F100 pickup truck. In my white Ford pickup that served me so well. That was Bruce tweeting out a photo of an old farm truck like it was the coolest thing he owned. The man meant every word. Meet the 1970 Ford F100 in plush Ranger XLT trim, bright white paint, a 5.0-liter V8 putting down roughly 215 horsepower. A similar unrestored F100 sells for about $25,500 on the classic truck market today, which makes this pickup the absolute budget pick of Bruce's whole lineup. cheap compared to everything else parked around it. So why does a billionaire keep walking past his shiny muscle cars to fire up this rough old workhorse? The answer wraps up his whole car philosophy in one sentence. Back in 2020, Bruce sat down with British GQ and dropped the exact line that explains everything about this collection. His own words, straight from the transcript. "I have a garage full of cars that I have collected over the years. They are not collector's pieces. They're what I call drivers. A small collection of older American vehicles that I get in and drive once in a while." Read that twice. Drivers, not trophies, not investments, not locked away showpieces hiding behind velvet ropes at some fancy auction. And that one tiny word explains the whole secret behind this entire collection. A guy who could own any car on earth chooses the ones with real memories bolted into them. Every scratch, every dent, every faded stripe tells him a story he actually lived through. That right there is why the boss has stayed the most relatable billionaire in rock music for 5 straight decades. Every other legend of his era slowly turned into a cartoon version of themselves. Bruce never did. Which Springsteen ride hit you the hardest? Tell me in the comments below. And if you want more wild rock legend stories, tap the video on your screen right now.